General, couple of brief questions first. Can we agree that the FBI is the premier law enforcement agency in the history of ever?
I will say one of them, since I oversee multiple law enforcement.
Can we agree the FBI has about 37,000 employees?
Yes.
Can we agree that there were and perhaps still are a small minority of bad apples at the FBI?
I think in any large organization you're going to find problems.
Can we agree that Director Wray has the will, ability, and authority to find those bad apples and terminate their employment with extreme prejudice?
Yes, and we work closely with Director Wray and have a very good relationship.
And refer them for prosecution if necessary.
That's correct, or to the IG for investigation.
Can we agree that Mr. Comey, while he was FBI director, was intentionally subordinate?
Yes.
Can we agree that insubordination, particularly intentional insubordination, it can be a symptom of managerial bias?
It could be.
Did you find that Mr. Comey was unbiased or biased and did not act on his bias?
We found no evidence that he was politically biased. That was what we were looking at and asked to look at in the requests we got.
Can we agree that bias is a state of mind?
Yes.
Can we agree that the only person who truly knows that person's state of mind is that person unless he's insane?
Yes, or memorializes it or tells somebody about it in some way.
Did you find any indication that Mr. Comey was or is insane?
No, we did not.
Okay. Are you referring Mr. Comey for prosecution?
There is no referral here as to him.
Could a U.S. attorney who might have jurisdiction decide to prosecute?
The department as a whole can look at this report and take whatever action it deems appropriate.
Okay, if an FBI agent lies to the FBI, that's insubordination too, isn't it?
It's a clear violation of rules, and I think you could characterize it as insubordinate for failing to follow the rules.
Like Mr. McCabe?
I'm going to refrain from speaking about that and let our report speak for itself.
Okay, well, so Mr. McCabe, who was insubordinate, gets referred for prosecution, but Mr. Comey, who is insubordinate, doesn't get referred, but he gets to keep his pension and his book deals. Is that about the deal?
Well, I'll just add, well before we finish this report, Mr. Comey had been terminated and so was no longer at the FBI.
Right, but he could still be prosecuted.
In theory, yes.
Okay. I want to read you some of the emails and text messages that came out of your report. These were all emails, instant messages, and text messages by senior members of the FBI. They were involved in the Clinton email investigation, the Russian investigation, the Mueller investigation, and in some cases, all three. 8/16/2015, Peter Strzok, quote, Bernie Sanders is an idiot like Trump. 2/12/2016, Lisa Page, I'm no prude, but I'm really appalled by this, so you don't go looking in case you haven't heard. Trump called him the P word. The man has no dignity or class. He simply cannot be president. 2/12/16, Peter Strzok, oh, Trump's abysmal. I keep hoping the charade will end and people will just dump him. The problem then is Rubio will likely lose to Cruz. 3/3/16, Lisa Page, God, Trump is a loathsome human. 3/3/16, Peter Strzok, oh my God, Trump is an idiot. 3/3/16, Lisa Page, also, did you hear Trump made a comment about the size of his, I'm not going to use the word, it rhymes with wangdoodle, the size of his D earlier? This man cannot be president. Day after the election, 11/9/2016, FBI employee, quote, all the people who were initially voting for her would not and were not swayed by any decision the FBI put out. Trump supporters are all poor to middle class, uneducated, lazy pieces of S that think he will magically grant them jobs for doing nothing. They probably didn't watch the debates, aren't fully educated on his policies, and are stupidly wrapped up in his unmerited enthusiasm. 11/8/2016, you think by FBI Agent 1, you think HRC is going to win, right? You think we should get some nails and boards in case she doesn't? Same day, FBI Agent 5, she better win, otherwise I'm going to be walking around with both of my guns. Day after the election, 11/9/2016, FBI Attorney 2, I am numb. FBI Attorney 2 later, same day, I am so stressed about what I could have done differently. Last one. Day after the election, FBI Attorney 2, I just can't imagine the systematic disassembly of the progress we have made over the last 8 years. The Affordable Care Act is gone. Who knows if the rhetoric about deporting people, walls, and crap is true? I honestly feel like there's going to be a lot more gun issues, too. General, do you believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Nope.
Do you believe in the Easter Bunny?
Nope.
Do you believe that Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes?
Not based on what I've read.
Do you honestly believe that the American people are going to look at this report and look at those emails and not believe that there was bias and people acting on bias and that the fix was in at the FBI?
I completely understand the concern, Senator, and that's why we've laid all this out here, and that's why we found that it impacts the credibility of the handling of the investigation. And what we say here is not, as Senator Crapo mentioned, which is that there was no bias, but rather what we were asked to look at was whether the specific decisions we reviewed were affected by bias. And those particular decisions here that we're talking about were decisions made mostly by the prosecutors, not by any of the individuals you just indicated there, and where there was that concern, which was in October, where Agent Strzok was in fact a decision maker. It's precisely why we found the concern we found.
Let me stop you, because if I go now, I can get in one more question.
Go ahead.
Your classified index.
Yes.
Does it contain or discuss an email that refers to a conversation allegedly between Attorney General Lynch and a person by the name of Amanda Renteria?
I'm not sure what I can say about that publicly, given the matter's classified. So I would ask you if I can get back to you on that. I'm hesitant to say anything in the public forum about that.
Would you allow our chairman and our ranking member to see the classified index?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, what we are trying to do, Senator, is what ended up happening is because of the nature of the information in there, it was classified at such a high level by the intelligence community. We don't make that decision by the intelligence community, that it limited even the members who can see it, as well as the staffs. And what we're doing right now is, and I asked the Deputy Attorney General's office to help facilitate this, is to go back to the intelligence community and let us know how we can address whatever caused this to be classified at that high level, so that we can make sure that we can write it at a level and get it to the members, including as to the question you raise, promptly. And they told us they are doing that. We very much want the committee to see this information.
Yours was a very professional report. Don't agree with all the conclusions, but I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Whitehouse.